Oh, sorry, I missed the first one. Like a B-17. I don't think they'd be difficult to fly. Hold on. And hello, oh God, yeah. Hold on. Oh, I'd have to buy it to fly it in battle. I'll do a test flight. You see, I never fly big birds. I'm a fighter person, not a bomber. Be nice when they get the cockpits corrected. You know, not just a placeholder, but an actual cockpit. Let's give it a try. Oh, that's a different airfield to be flying from for a test flight, because I don't normally do that. Okay, let's give it a try. I don't know if there's any targets. Don't think there are. Let's just fly it. I'm not quite sure what fun people get out of flying bombers, because they're a bit sort of slow and cumbersome, aren't they? I don't think there's anything out there for me to attack. So, oh, you've gone. Are you still there? Devolved God, or are you gone? Have I jumped in this plane for no reason? Oh, you're still there? Yeah, to me it shows 0 people watching. Okay. Let's see what I can do about hitting some ground units. Probably no chance. We'll see about landing it then. I don't normally have a trouble.
Anybody see anything? Negative, all clear, over.
I did put my gear down. What if I did that thing where it jumped up again? Sometimes that happens. I put the gear down and I catch the button twice and it puts it back up. It looks as though my gear was not down. Oh well, never mind. There we are, never mind. Okay. I'll go do some actual battle maybe. Well, that, if you always lose your gear, that might be that you're just landing too hard, and it could be what I did there, but I didn't think so. But I don't normally fly bombers. That's a good little plane, the P-36, but I normally fly Spitfires. I reckon that's a good turn. The late, so that one, the Mark 1 late, that's a 15-second turn time, so it's quite good. Do you ever do tank sim? When I say tank sim, I do tank sim, but I don't fly tanks. I only fly aircraft. Do you know about tank sim and how it works? Because with tank sim you get no markers. I think it's the best mode because you don't get the markers, and it's not crowded, so it feels a bit more civilized if blowing things up and killing people can be civilized. Not sure it's going to go in though, there doesn't seem to be an awful lot of people there. Yeah, so with tank sim, you only get one spawn in an aircraft. You get 2 more spawns in ground units if you so desire, but I never do. If I lose my aircraft, I'm out. I jump out of the battle because I don't do ground units. Oh, the numbers have picked up a bit, so maybe it'll go in. Would you like to see a tank sim if you haven't seen it already? It can take a while to get into battle. I mean, been going for a minute, over a minute at the moment, but generally it goes in. You just have to be a bit more patient than with the others that take you straight in pretty much. I mean, if you do an EC, it'll take you pretty much straight in, won't it? But this takes a little bit more waiting, a little bit more patience, but the numbers do seem to be building. When it's got enough, it'll pull me in. So have you seen tank sim battles much before? Ah, in that case, this should be worth watching for you. Or you can look on my stream and you'll find some tanks on my channel. You'll find some tanks in battles. In fact, one of them fairly recently-ish. I think I've called it a manic scrap or something like that, because I got a couple of kills and I survived the battle. I don't think we won. I think we lost, but that, to me, that's not important. It's just enjoying the flying around and getting into combat, air combat, that matters to me. Well, and ideally getting kills for it. 8 on their side, 5 on ours, so it should pull me in soon. Can't remember, Devolved God, I can't remember where you are. USA? Hard to get everything. Oh, Canada. Ah, yeah, I seem to remember now. So I've spoken to you before. So hard to get everything. How do you mean? Oh, what you mean? To get new planes, you've got to grind them and all that sort of stuff. Is that what you mean? Yeah, but that makes them all the more precious when you do get them. I think you have to work for it. Oh, the others seem to have dropped. I really want to get in on the tank sim to show you. I really do. But failing that, if we don't get there, yeah, it is true. If we don't get in there, you can always check my channel and you'll see that it's tank sim, because when I'm flying around, you won't see markers. Whereas in the other sim battles like EC, eventually you'll see markers when you get close enough, won't you? Well, you don't see markers in tank sim, even if you're right next to the aircraft. It's not a case of distance. If whether it's yours or theirs, you won't see a marker. The only time you'll see a marker is if you look at the map, and if the plane in front of you or whatever is yours, you'll have a blue dot for it, and that's the only marker you get on the map. Not in the sky. You won't see a marker for them. It's taken a while. 5 minutes it's been now. So it is the best mode, and I'd love to demonstrate it, but if you don't want to sit and watch this whirly wheel going around, let me know and I'll move on to something else. I'll move on to an EC. Just to say EC or tank sim when you're ready. Either way, of course, it will be sim. It won't be. I don't do the. I certainly don't do arcade, and I don't even do realistic now. I haven't done for quite some time. If you have played custom battles, it's hard even to fly without getting shot by a phantom. Oh, look at that! We're in. That's good. Let's hope I survive to show how good it is. I've got to say, I don't like this map. It's odd. It's sort of fuzzy. It's sort of blurred, fuzzy. But let's just see. But you'll see at least that there's no markers. So what I do is I want to check who's there, who's on the other side. Obviously we take off from the airfield. I always select 20 minutes because that's about how long they last. Oh, you know this map then, perhaps. It's a bit fuzzy. Right, I'm in a Hurricane, which is not my plane of choice, but we'll go for it. You'll notice I've taken the bombs, the rockets off it, because I'm not going to be going for ground units. It's too easy to shoot your own guys if you do that. Right, so I'll see who's there. and at least as importantly, I'm looking not only who's there, but what they're in. So I know there's 2 other aircraft on my side that will be in the air. So let's go.
Guide on me.
To a U on the chat, you are where is what he's saying.
Move after me.
So that aircraft in front of me, I know it's ours because it just took off from our airfield. But if I get close enough, you'll see that it doesn't give a mark. I'm not going to do that because that looks like an enemy aircraft over there. It looks like it's enemy because of the direction from which it's coming and the distance that it's at. So that's one of their guys just taken off from the other field. And there's 2 of our guys over on the right hand side there. If you remember, there were 2 aircraft on our side besides me, and that's the 2 that are further over to the right. That's going to be a Stuka, I bet, who's diving. Stukas have rear gunners that are very keen on shooting my engines.
Guide on me.
So I'm going to try and stay low in hopes that his gunner can't point his gun down at me.
Attention to the map. Follow me.
Yeah, as usual, is they take rear gunners. They take aircraft with rear gunners, or they take Japanese aircraft that you simply can't turn with. So I'm down on this one. I won't do another one because it takes too long to get in. I might try another one. If it goes in quickly, I'll stay there. So I take it you were in ground units then. I just got shot down by the rear gunner
I need cover.
of the of the Stuka, which is not in the least unusual. I say the other side tend to take aircraft that have got rear gunners, which they don't even have to operate themselves. They can just leave the automatic, the AI gunner shoot me down. So they don't have to do anything, and the aircraft will be flown for them if they take the gun position. I'll try it again and see if it takes me into another battle. If it doesn't go fairly quickly, I'll jump into an EC. But you get fewer aircraft because all the units, ground units and aircraft, are all being controlled by people. So it's all players. There's no AI. You get you get bots occasionally, I think. Do you? I'm just trying to think if you do or not. I'm not sure you do get bots. I think it's all players. Oh, we're in, okay. This can be quite a nice map. Well, in Tank Sim, I'm not sure, I don't think you do. Let's just check. I'm going to check. I think we're going to find that all of these people, all these aircraft are people. They're all players. Hold on. Yeah. Yeah, now you see all of those, there's no bots there. They're all players. All players on this side. So there's no bots involved in this. Other sim battles you do, maybe, but not this. So what have we got? IL2. When I take off, I'm going to curl around to their airfield. Because I'm not interested in shooting ground units. I can't do that with this. If I put rockets on, I could destroy some ground units, but it's too easy. It's too easy to shoot your own ground units accidentally. No, even when this starts, did you notice just then there were no bots on the other side? Not in Tank Sim. If I do another one, we'll check out again and you'll see that there's no bots on the other side, even right at the beginning. It only starts, the battle only starts when there's enough players there to form the battle. So with EC, yeah, you do there, but this is not EC, this is Tank Sim. So their airfield is in that direction. There it is. Doesn't seem to be anyone flying on their side at the moment, unless they've already taken off. So I'm going to carry on following along the river a little bit, sort of southwest. Make a turn and see if there's anyone spawned in. A lot of people only do tanks, of course. It's a Tank Sim battle, and they get upset sometimes with us aircraft that don't jump in a tank. And I haven't got set up for a tank, and tanks are two-dimensional. I like the 3 dimensions of flight. Right, I'm going to make a turn and see if I can see anything on their airfield. And it's still just me and the IL2 on our side, so if I see 2 other aircraft, I know that one of them is going to be an enemy. There's one aircraft. That could well be the IL2, it might be going back to base. and still seeing no aircraft on their airfield or in the vicinity.
Follow me.
Oh, right, yeah. And that probably means that this mode, or even simulator mode, might not suit you very well. Generally, simulator generally, I wouldn't be flying if I didn't have a stick to fly with, because I wouldn't be doing mouse and keyboard or a controller of some sort. I'll only fly with a stick and throttle. I often fly in DCS. Do you know DCS? That guy in front, that's got to be the IL-2, and you'll see that when I get close there's no marker. Right, DCS is a true flight sim. Now look, see how close I am? No marker. So if I don't recognise him as ours and I shoot at him, I could be shooting down a friendly, which is very costly. You'll see there's a green dot on the map, and that's because we're the only two aircraft there and we are squadded. It automatically squadded us. If you want, I will go into DCS and show you how good that is, because that's a true flight sim. You don't get into an aircraft, push a button, and it, something down on the ground is shooting at me, I think. All the IL-2 is, no, there's two aircraft, so one of them's not ours. See what he is, but I'm not in the best the best aircraft for this. I would normally want to spit for this.
We no longer have the advantage. Heading to the base.
But I might, no, I was going to say I didn't like, oh, it's a 109. Obviously they took off without me seeing them take off. That's fair enough. Well done, mate. Okay. Yeah. Right, now let me, I'll show you DCS if you like. Would you like to see DCS? Now to do that, obviously I've got to leave War Thunder, and it'll take just a little while, not as long as it took to get into a sim battle, but it'll take a little while to start up DCS, and you'll see how good that is as to fly in. Do you want to see that? Oh, I'm seeing Shore, so I'm assuming that you want to go and see DCS. Whilst it's swapping over from War Thunder to DCS, I won't be able to speak to you, because if I do, it will cause issues with the loading, because I have to use my push to talk button uses the control key, and so that can cause issues. So I'm going to jump out of this.
Destroy hostile base.
And I'll put my little banner up saying hold on. I've now swapped it to my DCS screen. I'm going to jump out of War Thunder. And I'll explain stuff that I'm doing in DCS as well to start the aircraft and for taxiing and all that sort of stuff. I think you'll enjoy it. So I'm going to exit War Thunder and then I won't be able to speak to you until I'm into DCS. So stay with me. Okay, so we've got this the splash front screen for DCS. I'm gonna go into a mission that was developed by Laxor, who I often squad with, especially at weekends, and we both stream, so you could watch from either Laxor's perspective or from mine whilst we're flying. So just watch this. I'll tell you what, you're saying this looks cool. You'll see it looks cooler when we get there. Once again, I've got to stop speaking until it's into the mission, so hold on. Right, what you saw before we got to this bit, the parking area, was a blue and grey or something aircraft. It's actually a 109, and it's on the enemy side, but it's only an AI. Normally we don't find them. They're not very easy to find. So I'm going to jump out so you can see. A nice little touch. If I jump back in, right, now I'm going to look to my right and then I'm going to jump out. Now you'll see that the pilot is looking to the right. It's a nice little touch. Okay, to start this, I'm first of all going to turn on the panel lights. There are two covers. It's difficult, I can't get to it. Just beyond, oh there we are. There's two covers. That's a refueling vehicle. Refueling jet, tanker. two covers that I have to open because they cover up buttons for safety purposes. So they're now both open. Now I have to press both those buttons to start the engine eventually. One's the booster button and the other one is the starter, the one that actually turns the engine over. So I can't press them both with a mouse. So what I have to do is use the home and delete keys on my keyboard to press those two buttons. But first of all, I've got a few other things to do. I've got to set my prop pitch fully fine if it's not already, which it is. There's the prop pitch on the left. Prop pitch is fully fine, and I need to make sure my parking brake, which is this lever down the middle. I'm not sure if that's showing that, is it? I'm not sure if you can see. I'm not sure if you can see my cursor. But anyway, down just beyond my glove there's a white lever. That's the brake. You watch. Right, so the brake is fully on. I've got to turn on the magnetos. And hopefully you'll hear the fuel pump turn on when I throw a switch at the front there. It's just about there. I don't know how well you can hear it. I can only just hear it. And I've got to turn on the fuel cock. So the fuel pump is turned on, the fuel cock is open. I can now prime the engine because its pitch is fully fine and the brake is on. I'll prime the engine. Oh, you could see that, good. Right, I'll lock the primer again. I'm now ready to start the engine, so I have to push those two buttons using my home and delete keys. Whilst I've got them pushed, the engine will turn over and it will start to catch. When it catches, I have to throw that lever, the mixture lever, throw that forward, and that will get the engine running properly. So I'm just going to crack the throttle a little bit. And now I'll start the engine. I'm using a button at the back of my back of my throttle unit. That button will actually throw that mixture lever forward. Here we go. You'll notice that the engine, the aircraft is rocking slightly because of the torque of the engine as it started. Right, now what I could have done and what I should have done is turned on my radio and asked for permission to do that. I'll do it late. Hold on a minute.
Mazda, Chevy 1-1, request startup. Chevy 1-1, Mazda, cleared for startup, wind 157 at 2 meters per second.
Okay, so I've been permission to start up. I've started the engine. Let's put on my navigation lights. You'll see port red light there. Port starboard. Right, so I've got the engine running. I've asked for permission. I'll now ask if I can taxi.
Mazda, Chevy 1-1, request taxi to runway. Chevy 1-1, Mazda, clear to taxi to runway 8.
Okay, and to go to runway 8, it just means this runway in front of me, this end is 8 and the other end is 28, I think. So I'm going to go right out of the parking bay, turn left along this taxiway to get to the runway, and then turn right onto the runway, so I don't need a long runway. So to taxi, or before I taxi, what I'm going to do is, you see that the gear light isn't on at the moment, so I'm going to turn that on. Okay, so that's turned on. I'm going to set my altimeter. This is all exactly as per an actual spit, of course. If you can do this, you know how to fly a spit. I'm also going to put my nose nose orientation to down by 1/3 of a division. I can just hear a chopper in the background here. So that's nose down by 1/3 of a division. I'm now going to put some right rudder trim on to counteract the torque of the engine. Otherwise it will want to pull me to the left as I take off. Now to taxi, on the Spitfire there are no toe brakes. I'm pushing my toes forward, but you'll notice the pedals aren't moving. They do when I'm moving that way, but pushing my toes forward doesn't put toe brakes on, because there are no toe brakes on the Spit. So they look pretty real, the crashes. I think they look pretty real. Yeah, so to taxi, to turn right, I have to give it, like, for the moment I'm going to pull my throttle a little bit, because I'm going to take my brake off. Right, brake is off. To turn right, I've got to push right rudder and operate the brake lever. That puts braking on the right wheel. Likewise for left turning, it's left rudder and put braking on the left wheel. So I'll leave my brake on, and I can start taxiing. So here we go. Brake off. Throttle up a bit. Try to show you my So you'll see the brake going on and off as I turn left or right. This is actually as per a real Spit. It's very uncomfortable to do it. Toe brakes are much easier. I've got the P51 in this, and that uses toe brakes, and taxiing in it is a doddle, no problem at all. But taxiing in a Spitfire, that's different. When I get to the runway, I'll stop and ask permission for takeoff. At the moment my cockpit is open. It stays open until I've taken off. That's a safety feature in case the ground staff have to whip me out of a burning aircraft. They don't want to have to fight through the cockpit. So it's left open until I'm airborne. In a minute I'll ask for permission to take off, then I'll explain before I take off. I'll explain how I do that. Right, so I'm just going to wait on the side here, and I don't know if you've realised, but there's a bleep bloop sound every now and again, and that's where I am using voice attack to make voice commands to pull out comms. I'm going to say, you'll hear bloop bloop, and when that happens I will say, although you won't hear it, I will say comms, and that will bring up the communications menu. Now I will request takeoff.
Mazda, Chevy 1-1, request takeoff. Chevy 1-1, Mazda, you are cleared for takeoff when ready. Climb 300 at QFE 29.38.
I'm looking the other way just in case there's anything coming in, because they will just run me over. Although I've asked permission, so I should be safe anyway. If there was another aircraft, they'll say hold. I don't know that you can do this on PS4. I don't think you can. Don't know for sure, but I don't think you can. Right, I'm going to explain takeoff. Won't take me long. To take off, I give it full stick back, full right aileron. And I hold it there, throttle up, and as I'm moving more faster and faster, I gradually let the stick go back to its normal position. When it takes off, I will put my gear up. See that change? I'll put my gear pit, which is this throttle unit, to give me 2,700 RPM. So 2,700 revs per. That. Oh, actually, I've missed a stage. First of all, when I've taken off, I'll adjust my trim to 1 division of nose up. Then I will adjust my, and I will then close my cockpit. So when I do take off, I have to what they call it dancing on the rudder pedals to keep it straight along the runway. I will try to show that, but it's not necessarily that easy. I'll see if I can adjust track IR a minute. Hold on. Right, that's made it a bit easier for me to show my pedals while I take off. So here we go, stick back, full right aileron. I'll take the brake off and throttle up. Adjust trim. Set population. Close canopy. There are some ground units just round the corner there. Now when I shoot at those, I might get a bit of a freeze. I normally get a bit of a freeze just that very first time. First I've got to turn on my gun sight, make my guns ready. There's a little pip at the top of the stick. That's now up, guns are ready, gun sight is on. I might get a slight freeze as I attack these ground units. Well, I probably will get a freeze. And a nice touch as well is you'll see that there are vehicles burning. After they burn for a little while, you'll see them explode. There are, one just exploded. You're using the PS4 in Sim, okay. I'm taking it, it's not very easy. So what do you think of DCS? Well, I do try not to crash it because, as you've seen, you don't just push button and get back in the air. You've got to go through the start-up procedure and you've got to taxi to the runway, which takes time. So crashing your aircraft in DCS does mean that you've got to pay the penalty of starting up and getting back to the back to the runway. I will show you one thing though. When you jump out in War Thunder, it puts you into third person and you see a parachute and you see your aircraft. When I bail out in DCS, I'm actually a pilot and I can look up and see the canopy of my parachute. So I might show you that. But I'll have to be high enough because otherwise my parachute won't have time to open. And I can shoot the trains in this as well. There's a train down there. If I shoot that train, the only problem is the next train that comes along behind it obviously won't be able to move, so you get like a log jam of trains. I'll go for the train just because it's different and because it's something you can't do in War Thunder. Well, I'm not sure if I've got enough 20mm left to do it, but we'll see. I think that got it because it's got like a yellow, yeah. The train has stopped now, so the train is dead. But any other trains that come along, you can't get past it, so you get a log jam of trains. Do you want to see the parachute? actually is either see the parachute or watch a landing. I can also walk about. Once I've landed in my parachute, or using my parachute, I can then walk about on the ground if I want to. I'm not dead sure you're still with me there, Divine God. Are you still there? Okay, I'll land it, yeah? So I have to make the prop pitch fully fine and open the cockpit. It'll get noisy then. I'm way too fast. I have to try and pick up some speed. I want to put my gear down at about 140. That's better. I'll try to show you my gear coming down. Gear down. Flaps down at about 120. Flap. Okay, so it wasn't too bad landed. Well, it's bumpy, but I don't normally land as badly as that. Right, flaps up. Did you want to see the parachute business? Okay, well, you know my procedure now for taking off, so I won't explain that. I've got to put the nose down. I leave the rudder trim as it is during flight. I'm now doing nose down trim of about 1/3 of one division. About there. Okay. So stick back, full right aileron, etc. Yep, all good, so I'm going to throttle up and take off. Brake is off. Here we go. And now I'll climb. When I'm above the airfield, I will bail out. There we are, the aircraft just crashed. Now the thing about this is, as I go down, when you make a parachute jump, you have to, when you're about to land, you bring you put your knees together and pull them up slightly, ready for the shock of landing. And that's what happens here. You'll see that in a minute. The scary thing is if I do this. So I don't know what altitude I'm at the moment, of course. It's not all that high. But so when you get close enough to the ground, knees together, pull the legs slightly up bent, and then I can actually walk and check out the wreckage of my aircraft if I want to. What do you think about the bailing out business? Yeah, right, now wait until we're fairly low now. You'll see the knees go together and come up. I'll just got to keep looking this way so you see that. A fairly quick manoeuvre, but the knees are separate at the moment and they're not, the legs aren't ever so bent. I think the legs bend a little bit more. Should be coming up soon. Here we are, together and up. And now stood up, I can take a walk. You see the smoke pyre from my crashed aircraft. I'm actually further away from the airfield than I realised. That's a pity, it doesn't show my position on the map when I'm not in my aircraft. So I'm just using the arrow up key to go forward, and I can use the rudder keys or the left and right keys to turn direction, change direction. So there's radar and things that sit beside the airfield, just about centre screen right now. So I can carry on walking and get to the aircraft wreckage, or I can jump out of this and jump into another Spitfire and do the startup procedure, etc., and take off again. I can actually put bombs on it if I want to, but I'm not very good at it. So DCS stands for Digital Combat Simulator. It is a true simulator. No pressing one button to start the engine here. Although I think you can set it up to do that, but I would never do that. So what do you think? Keep walking or get another aircraft? Almost at the runway. Oh, hang on a minute, perhaps not. Okay, I agree. Get another aircraft. Another Spitfire, of course. I could take a P-51, but I'm not comfortable with that. I fly Spitfires. Oh, I have to check. Get a different slot first. It's not taking me back. That's better. Right, so I'll try to switch to external view once the engine starts, and you'll see the wings flipping around from the torque of the engine. So I won't talk through this one, I'll just do it. And I think that's yeah, that's a Falcon, Kestrel. I can't remember any aircraft, damn it. It's a jet. I don't remember them. Don't do jets. I won't worry about asking permission and all that sort of stuff at the moment. The one thing I would ask, if you leave the stream, let me know, won't you? Because otherwise I'll just sit there talking to myself. Didn't turn the fuel. I'm going to move forward just so you can see the other aircraft. I normally set my trims at this point, but I'm going to move forward. There he is. Of course, that's an AI, but in multiplayer, that could be my normal squad mate flying that. It makes quite a noise when it takes off, of course. You notice I didn't turn my gear light on. Look, there's nothing there. It should be saying down, and I didn't turn it on. I'll turn that on. Okay, gear light. Adjust my altimeter. Nose down trim. And rudder trim. Okay, that should be about good. Brake is fully on. I've got to remember to take the brake off. Oh, you've nearly taken off in War Thunder Sim. Very good. Right. Stick fully back, full right aileron, and parking brake on. Throttle up and away we go. Gear up. Trim's adjusted, crop pitch. And close cannon. I'm And they're going to go to a different bunch of units which will shoot back at them. So I've got to put my sight on and make my guns ready. They'll start shooting at me fairly soon. That wasn't enough to destroy it. I'd recommend voice attack because it's a free program and I just say certain things in War Thunder as well. I just give it commands and it does what I would otherwise have to do by pushing keys on the keyboard. That destroyed that one. Oh, I'm taking hits. I've taken hits that have affected my control surfaces, I think. Well done. Wasn't enough to destroy it, I'm sure. No, it wasn't, it was still there. It needs to be about 60% or more before it destroys the target. Taking hits. That really destroyed it. I can usually get all these 7 units without being shot down or finishing up my ammo. That one will have been destroyed. So there's 3 left. hits from them. Have I got enough 20mm to finish the work? I don't know. Right, I just need one more. Have I got enough ammo to do it? So I'll go back, land, and rearm and refuel. Wing is peppered, I should get repaired as well, really. The boost gauge on the right here, I should really be flying at about boost 8. If it goes to 12 and you hold it there for a long time, that's not good for the engine. Right, downwind. So in a minute I'll put my prop pitch fully fine, so the lever goes fully forward, and open my cockpit in preparation for landing. So using the PS4 controller, you're taking off in sim, is that right? Gear down. Flaps. In a Spitfire, in War Thunder, when you put your flaps down, it noses up quite violently. It doesn't in this. This is more correct. I'll jump out the aircraft and we'll see what damage I've got. Flaps up. The right wing at least is quite peppered. Don't think there's much else. There's a bit on the left wing, mostly the right wing. So I'll get repaired. You know what? I did that wrong. I didn't open my cockpit. I should have done. So you've done it. You've taken off in sim mode in using the PS4, yeah? And you landed. Excellent, well done. Right, if I'm going to get repaired, I have to turn my engine off because I don't like working on an engine that's running. Turned off the fuel.
Request repair. Copy.
So what, do you mean you're now hooked on flying sim in War Thunder? They are the easier aircraft, so that's a good one to start on. Yeah, good. Because things like Spitfire, you'd probably have a difficult time with that, at least to start with, because they are much more twitchy aircraft to fly. I don't think they can refuel and rearm me until the repair's completed. Yeah, the famous concrete tents that you should be able to just go through pretty much. But I suppose if you hit a tent, it would be enough to swing you round and cause a crash maybe. But it's like you're crashing to concrete, isn't it? Okay, so I guess you'll be dropping the stream, yeah? Oh, you're going to leave the stream running, okay. I'm still waiting for repair. I'll jump out the aircraft because if you get a chance to look... oh, I didn't tell them okay, did I? To reload me.
Request refueling.
If you get the chance to look, you'll see that when the aircraft is going to be repaired, which is in about 15 seconds time, it's jacked up off the ground. It just lifts off the ground. You can hear the fuel going in. 10 seconds, then the aircraft, there we are, the aircraft is lifted up. That signifies that it's being repaired.
Refueling
I'm not
complete.
sure what that aircraft is that's near me. Oh, there it is.
Rearming complete.
I don't know if he's just going to fly straight through me. I'd better take off because he might just fly straight through me. It might be hard. Once again, once you get into it, I would never go realistic now. I would only want to do simulator. Where I'm flying now, there's a little collection of insurgents. They have cars and they have infantry. And when I attack them, they scatter. The infantry scatter about. I'll try to show that by being on zoom. You're not actually in tank sim, are you? No, because that would be that would be quite a jump, wouldn't it? I wouldn't recommend tank sim to start with. Get used to ordinary sim first. But tank sim is the best mode, in my opinion. So not so good for squadding, because when someone goes down, the other people in the squad might want to decide they don't want to fly and leave that person out. Right, here's the insurgents. You might see them scatter if you want. There they go. When you're in a dough, in the middle of a field at my 9 o'clock, there's a cylinder. It holds like butane or propane gas or something. It takes quite a few rounds to destroy it because the skin of it is probably very thick. I'll have a go. Yeah, that got it. Okay, I'm going to go back and yeah, consider getting voice attack. Although I don't know how that would work with PS4. Maybe it wouldn't. I've got a feeling the tanker is on downwind, about to turn base to land. Yeah, I think he's coming in, and he will just run through me, I think. So maybe I'll follow him in. Okay, for me it's gone 1 o'clock in the morning, so I should quit there really. Thanks for joining me, devolved God, and best of luck with the sim. From what I can make of it, you're doing really well. So I'm gonna cut my engine, turn off the fuel with the brakes fully on, turn off the fuel and rev it a little bit to get the fuel out the pipes, and then I'll throw the fuel cut off. Yeah, thanks for joining me, devolved God. Maybe I'll catch you again. Enjoy sim and good luck with it. I think you're doing fine by the sound of it. Enjoy. I'm going to stop the stream now. Good night.